Welcome back to Unboxing Entrepreneurship. Now, one important mindset for an entrepreneur to have is to be organized. And I can vouch for the fact that when you're organized, you're definitely more productive. So that's what I'm going to talk about with today's guest. I have Aanchal on my show, who's the founder of Arrange It All, and she's a professional organizer. Let's get right into the conversation about what entrepreneurs can do to stay organized and how it affects their output. Hi, Achal. Welcome to Unboxing Entrepreneurship.
Hi, Pallavi. Thank you so much for having me here today.
So, I'm starting a new series of, or I would call it a new season actually. I'm starting a new season, and you're the first guest of that. So, I'm very excited to start my conversation with you because we are going to talk about a topic that I feel very passionately about. I'm hyper organized, which is sometimes a disadvantage and sometimes a little difficult for other people to follow. But I think it would be good to have this conversation with you to understand how how organization skills are important for an entrepreneur. So before we get into the questions, let's do an introduction. Do let us know what it is that you're doing these days.
Yeah, so thank you so much for having me, firstly. And I saw your series one, and I was like really, really impressed with what everyone was talking. And I was like, Mera number kab aayega? So I'm so honored that I'm on the first guest and you considered me here. So thank you so much for that. And nowadays it's been hectic. It's
Mm.
been, as you said, I am struggling to remain organized.
Yeah.
But it's once you start remaining organized, you start feeling the benefits of it. And after that, your mind stops working when you're not. As you said, you are hyper organized, right?
Mm.
So you need to take that some time out and, give it to yourself, give it to your space and everything.
Yeah.
Having said that, let me introduce myself first.
Yeah.
Hi, everyone. I'm Aanchal. I'm founder of Arrange It All, and I'm a professional organizer and a decluttering consultant. I started this venture almost 1.5 years back during COVID because that time I felt like, people were very stressed for space.
Yeah.
They were attending, offices from home, kids were attending school from home. And it was like, we were spending so much of time at home, right? Though organizing is not only about home, but,
Mm.
we spend so much of time, in our space and everything. So I think whenever organizing topic comes, people start relating it more to home, but it
Yeah.
has much more aspect than that. We can, relate it to life, your workspace and everything. So that time I realized that I was very organized. It was not a challenge for me because I created those systems around me and everything. So my space was not giving me any stress for that matter.
Yeah.
But it was not the same for a lot of people. And that's how I realized that I can make a difference in a lot of people's lives and everything.
Mm.
And slowly and steadily, that idea started growing up. And that entrepreneurial kida starts
Yeah.
bugging you,
Yeah.
right? And that's how Arrange It All started. And I decided to take a plunge, and here I am. We have done couple of on-site projects. We have done couple of workshops. You know, Slowly and steadily, people are getting more aware about it,
Yeah.
the benefits about it, and thanks to the Netflix series of Home Edit and everything, India is warming up to this concept a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I think being organized physically is extremely underrated. I come from a manufacturing background. I was an engineer for 10 years in the automotive industry. And we had a very common principle that, the line operators used to follow, which was everything in its place and a place for everything. And it literally was like that, right? If they're picking up a hammer for something on the line, or if they're picking up a wire harness, they knew exactly where to find it, and whatever they picked up, if there was something left over, it needed to go back in exactly that same space. And when you're rolling out a car every 8 minutes, even that 1 second saved in picking it up really quickly in an ergonomic manner and putting it back, or putting it into the car, that makes a lot of difference. So I do believe that whether it is your home, your office desk, or whatever it is that you're working with on a daily basis, these small changes do make a lot of difference to your productivity. And I know that entrepreneurs do struggle with a lot of changes. When you become an entrepreneur, you're doing everything on your own. So if you're not organized, I feel that it hampers your growth a little bit, because you're all over the place, and you don't know how to structure your thoughts, you don't know how to structure the work that you're doing. So it is an important aspect. But what is your opinion? Where do you think entrepreneurs really need to focus on in becoming more organized?
So first of all, you summarized it so beautifully. Like you were saying, when they pick up this hammer, so our body gets, our mind, body, and every gets attuned to it. Like it's here. So it automatically starts happening.
Yeah.
You don't have to spend mental energy on doing that, right? And similarly, as entrepreneurs, like I was a homemaker for almost 12 years before I took this plunge to become an entrepreneur. And I think that journey of being a homemaker mother for 12 years taught me a lot, and that is something that I carry in my profession also.
Yeah.
Because, we being a homemaker is also underrated,
Yes.
right? You are juggling so many things, and that makes you, I think, you know what your priorities are. You start, managing things. You start, creating a system about it.
Yes.
So for me, being organized is all about creating those systems, right? So as entrepreneurs, you said, like, we are juggling so much, especially women entrepreneurs. We are juggling so much on everyday basis, right? So until and unless we create that system for ourselves, the entire journey becomes very overwhelming, right? It's not
Yeah.
only about our space, it's about those small systems, those small things that we can do, and it does not happen overnight.
Yeah.
Right, we do try something, it does not work out, we try to improve it, and then we try to, do something else. So small changes in everything, finally you are able to get that system in place which works for you, that takes away the mental exhaustion, the mental energy, and makes you feel a little more calmer to focus on your work. Right, I was reading about Steve Jobs. He used to wear the same t-shirt
Yes.
every day, like similar, not same,
Yeah.
similar.
Yeah.
Like that used to work for him so beautifully, because that was one less decision to make
Correct.
every morning. I have, like, statistics also says that, right, you spend like 6 to 8 minutes every day in the morning just to think what to wear and finding what to wear, right? And that's, that 8 minutes you keep on thinking, searching, that's, ups your anxiety level, your frustration level. Uh, so it's not worth it, I think. When you have everything organized, you already have so many business decisions to make. So an organized place always, makes you start working on an automated process, and you don't have to think so much, especially, like, you said, it is valid for everyone,
Yeah.
be it, a working professional, be it an entrepreneur, be it anyone. For that matter, your organized desk also, you don't have to keep searching for that particular paper, pen, stationery, or emails. Even digital organizing is so important nowadays.
Absolutely.
Right, so because entire world is digital, so we need to be very conscious about, spare some time and get things in a way we feel ki, this is taking a chunk of time, it's not worth it, let me focus more on this. But we don't realize that this spending a little time here is gonna save a lot of time.
Yeah.
Right,
Absolutely.
so it's actually very important. So my day will not start until unless I create a to-do list, right? Be it on a professional front, be it on a personal front. There's a mind dump that needs to happen on a piece of paper or on screen or anywhere. These are the tasks that needs to be taken care on office front, and these are the tasks that needs to care taken care of on personal front. And it makes your, the entire day easier. You don't have to keep on thinking about it.
Yeah, yeah. I really resonate with the to-do list, because I have also found that, sometimes, especially when you're not working, like on the weekend, there is a lot of things in your head which you think, oh, when I start on Monday or next week, I need to do this, or I need to contact this person. And if I don't write it down, at that moment, I will keep thinking about it. And that
Yes.
mental load, it's not worth it. Why should you carry all these things in your head and try and remember that I have to do 15
Right.
things? Just write those 15 things down, and that's step one. Because then when you look at your list, you can look at it and say, okay, what do I need to prioritize? When do I need to do what, right? So that's an important very first step of being organized. But I've also spoken to people who are not organized as me, and they always find it a little bit frightening that, how do you get to this level of organization? And of course, we've all had a journey of where we were maybe say 10, 15 years ago, and how we have improved over time. So do you think that there is any indicator for someone to say that, okay, this task needs to be done better, or I need to find a better way to do it? Do you think that there is some indicators that people need to look at to say, okay, I need to organize this better?
Yeah, so if you feel that you are spending a lot of time on a particular thing and
Yeah.
it's not worth it, it's not productive,
Hmm.
right? It's taking mental space. That moment you need to realize that it's not worth it. You need to get organized,
Yeah.
right? If it's creating frustration, anxiety on some level, hampering your productivity, like you
Hmm.
said, a to-do list makes it so easy. Otherwise, when you are working on a particular task, at the
Hmm.
back of the mind, there are 10 more things running in your head that iske baad ye karna hai. After this, I need to take care of that. You're not focusing on that.
Yeah.
Just imagine just writing it down makes it, I have this another habit. Like when I'm working, there are keep at times, you relate to something. You are reading something, you relate to something, and you feel ki this can, you can build on this. Random thoughts keep. I start writing them on post-it notes and just keep it away.
Hmm.
Right? Just written it in 2 seconds to write that word, keep it away to be able to focus on this task right now and to
Yeah.
cater to that when I want to.
Hmm.
So I think when people start thinking that they're spending too much of time or they're getting overwhelmed by their space, by the
Hmm.
amount of work they have and everything, and
Hmm.
a small habit change
Hmm.
can make a lot of difference there. Is I think when they should start thinking about getting organized. It's not worth it. It's not your like mental frustration and anxiety, as we say,
Yeah.
and being overwhelmed all the time.
Yeah, yeah. I agree. I think for me also the indicator is if I have done something which has taken me too much time, I at least owe it to myself to Google it and say, can I do this better? Whether it
Yeah,
is say calculating something in an Excel sheet, and that's how I have learned it, that there are formulas for calculations in Excel sheet. Otherwise, no one
yeah,
taught us that, right? You don't learn these
yes.
things in school, that Excel
Even
sheet
in
comes
team
with.
management, right?
Yeah,
Even in
exactly.
team management, it's not worth it calling every time your team and asking like ye hua nahi hua. So there's a system that you can create
Yeah.
around it, right? When you start your day, when you end your day,
Hmm.
there's a system, and nowadays it's becoming very easy to get your thoughts organized, get your the digital space and team and everything organized, so that it becomes easier for you to function.
Yeah. Absolutely. All right. So, I mean, we started this call by turning off all distractions, and again, that was something that I do all the time. That when you're focusing on something, turn off your WhatsApp, turn off
Right.
anything that makes a sound, because it distracts you. And I think being organized also includes thinking about things in a focused manner. That when you're working on something, you need to focus on it completely. And the example that you gave of having post-it notes and jotting stuff down and keeping it aside is a classic example, because as you say, when you're reading something or you're doing something, there are thoughts that will come out of it, and you'll say, oh, I probably need to action it. But the minute you go away, even for 2 minutes, you step away and you start doing that, you've lost the focus on what you were initially doing, right? And then there is the possible real possibility that what you started here, you didn't finish, and you don't now remember what you had to
Yeah.
do in the first place, right? So,
The
so
rhythm gets broken, right?
absolutely. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I think that with the number of distractions that we have today, we don't realize it, that your rhythm is
Yeah.
getting broken. Even switching two tabs can affect what you're thinking,
Yes.
especially if they are separate tabs, right? If you're working on an email versus working on, say, a creative for someone else, immediately the minute you switch the tab, you had to switch your context, and now you're starting to think about that, or now you're starting to respond to the email. So all of these things do add up to you wasting your time during the day, and at the end of the day you feel like, I'm not sure I completed one task even, because I started half and I started another half and I didn't do it. All right, so let's talk a little bit about, I mean, you've given a few examples of your own, but let's maybe do something more tangible and say, what is it that you do to organize your work desk at the start of the day?
Yeah. So I don't organize my work desk at the start of the day. I
Oh,
organize my desk at the end of the day.
oh, nice.
Yeah. So, that ways I start to a fresh desk.
Hmm.
I just sit down and I can start working. So
Hmm.
at the end of the day, like as I have seen people have this habit of the laptop being switched on constantly. Now,
Yes.
when you are shifting, for a lot of us working from home, that laptop is constantly on. I consciously know that beyond 7, I cannot work. What's the point of that laptop being on, right?
Yeah.
So, my habit is switch off everything, put everything back in its place. For me, that workday has ended. Obviously, there are exceptions when you need to,
Hmm.
take care of certain things later in the night or
Hmm.
something like that. But one thing is out of your mind, and now you can focus completely on your personal life,
Yes.
right? Otherwise, that email will keep beeping, something or the other will keep happening.
Hmm.
So, for me, the visual of it is also very important,
Hmm.
right? So,
Hmm.
eliminate visual clutter is what I say for people. At the end of the day, make a peaceful work desk, and then go off to attend to other tasks or sleep or whatever.
Yeah.
So that is what I do. uh, Second thing, very important, I feel, is keep decluttering
Hmm.
periodically. Like,
Hmm.
we get so many papers, we get so much of stationery which is not working, and we keep procrastinating. Okay, I will deal with it. I will
Hmm.
deal with it. The moment it comes in your hand, deal with it then and then. Like,
Hmm.
it takes hardly 2 seconds to deal with it and get it out of your way.
Hmm.
Like, don't keep procrastinating and keep building and let it take to a point where it is all chaotic.
Yeah.
Right. And the second thing I abide by is like return the things back to its own place. Your
Hmm.
mind will start functioning in that area. It's a small place, right, where we live. It is not like a big city where you need to pick up pieces and everything, where you
Hmm.
live actually. So
Hmm.
your body, your mind, everything starts getting into that loop. This is there, this is there.
Hmm.
Another statistic that I would like to share is like people spend almost 5 or 6 minutes looking for their keys and wallets before leaving in the morning.
Yeah.
How is it worth it?
Yeah.
You are building that frustration up even before you have started your day,
Yeah.
right? Why do you want to keep looking for things? Provide a home to everything, like be it
Hmm.
a stapler, keys, or anything. Provide a home to everything,
Hmm.
and then return it back to its own place when you have used it.
Hmm.
These two simple habits, I think, goes a very, very long way in maintaining your space and maintaining that calm and order around you.
Yeah, yeah. And when people were working from home, I think this was one of the bigger challenges because the homes were designed for people to stay and not to work.
Yeah,
And when you had the husband, wife, two kids, a typical family, everybody needed a desk, everybody needed the internet connection, everybody needed peace and quiet around them. It became hard for, to find that space for everyone. Of course, now we have come out of it. And there are people who have gone back to work, but people who have stayed at home and have I would call it a luxury, have the luxury of working from home, I think it becomes extremely important for them to mark out a space and say, this is what my space is.
yeah,
Even if it is your dining table, yes, you start at your dining table, you finish at your dining table, then pack your laptop and put it away. Don't leave it on the dining table, because then you're constantly thinking about
yeah.
your work, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
you need to, switch off from one thing to be able to focus on something else.
Yeah.
So eliminate visual clutter all around you is what I say.
Hmm.
Make it a peaceful space. After all, home is home.
Hmm.
It's your safe and happy and comfortable place where you also want to relax, right?
Yeah.
And spend some quality time with yourself, with your family, and everything. Like, for me, home is always a feeling.
Hmm.
So I relate to places a lot. If that place is not relating back to me, it creates a kind of like negative vibes,
Yeah.
right? And you don't want that kind of negativity around you. So all
Hmm.
my clients are super happy when their wardrobes are organized because now they can see. Like, they can see what is where.
Hmm.
And that in itself reduces time, anxiety, frustration, everything, and makes you feel a little more sorted, in control. We human
Hmm.
beings want to be in control of everything,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
if you are feeling in control, you feel more at peace and calm and everything.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Next question. I mean, you're running a business yourself and you are working with multiple clients as well. I think there is a lot of digital overwhelm that entrepreneurs struggle with. Now, whether that digital overwhelm is the amount of emails that they get, or in India, WhatsApp is really famous. So whether it's WhatsApp communication, or even if after you have worked with a client, there's this body of work that you have in terms of photographs, testimonials that you need, which you would which you would need for to grow your business and get more clients. So do you have any best practices that you yourself follow for minimizing your digital overwhelm, or any tips for entrepreneurs how they can do that?
Okay, before I answer that, I'm gonna ask you a question, Pallavi here. How many times during the day you check your email?
Unfortunately, I check it a lot. I have it open all the time, but I make it
You have,
now. I'm trying to respond only on certain times of the day, but some days I'm not that
yeah.
successful.
Yeah, so I think it's a habit that we need to create. Like, maybe every 2 hours you need to dedicate only to your emails 10 minutes,
Hmm.
right? Constantly being on that email, everything is urgent. Nowadays, everything is urgent. Like, that email needs a immediate reply. But that
Hmm.
takes away, we don't understand switching off from one task and jumping to another is a time lost.
Yeah.
Instead, just when you are working on one task, and now, and a lot of it needs a lot of, those creative flows to go. And
Hmm.
also, when we are working for clients, also, we are studying a space or anything, we need to be really focused into it. I cannot be juggling two things, right?
Yes.
So you have to keep some time aside to check your email, respond to them. And if
Hmm.
you feel you need to respond to them later, you need to put them in respective folders also,
Yes.
right? So just do that every, maybe take 15 minutes every 2 hours, take 10 minutes every hour, but allocate a time for your email. Don't be constantly on your email, is one
Yeah.
thing that I said. Yeah. So another thing, like we click a lot of photographs on our phones, right?
Yes.
And it's a like crazy amount of photographs on our phone,
Hmm.
right? So what I do is like every week I sit down, like if I have come back from a client's place and I have taken a lot of photographs, I immediately create a folder
Huh.
of that client's name and put all those photographs in that folder, so that when I want to revisit it, it's
Hmm.
there. I don't have to scroll down the entire camera roll to figure that out, where is it. It
Hmm.
does not take time. Nowadays it's very easy. You just click 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 and it's
Hmm.
gone to the folder,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
Similarly on your desktop also, I tell people your जो screensaver बोलते हैं हम,
Hmm.
that should be pretty. That
Hmm.
should be something, my screensaver is like my vision board for the
Hmm.
year,
Hmm.
right? It don't clutter it completely. Just have 3 4 folders that you feel are important on your desktop. When you
Hmm.
open your laptop, you're gonna feel more at calm, more in control, like not so much of things looking at you, but
Yeah.
only your vision board or a smiling picture of you or a smiling picture of your loved ones or something that really makes you happy. It's
Yeah.
not only about being organized or working, it's about feeling happy also, right?
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
create that happy spaces around you, be it in form of your laptop or be it around you in your physical space.
Hmm. Hmm.
I keep on creating these folders, subfolders, like you said for testimonials. There is a for everyone it works in a different way. So you
Yeah.
might have a folder named testimonial where every testimonial goes.
Yes.
Or for me, I name my folder according to my clients, and everything related to that client, even the testimonial, is in that folder.
Yeah.
So the way your mind works, you need to sort it out easily so that when you run like that word, it immediately pops out. You don't have to visit your emails. You don't have to visit 70 folders to figure out where is it exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Two, three things that really freak me out is looking at somebody's, desktop and it has 1,000 shortcuts. I have no idea
Yeah.
how people find anything. Or, when you see somebody's web browser and it has all these tabs open at the top, I can't breathe. I feel like I
You
want to
keep on
close.
closing. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I have
want
to
to
keep.
close. I was like, why are so many open? I've already been through it. Let me close that.
Exactly, exactly. I mean, because sure, you have a really fast laptop, but it's also mental load, right? When you look at all these tabs, you think, oh, maybe I have some work left here. Have I finished it or not? So yeah, highly focused on reducing my mental load with whatever it is that I do. Even my desktop has 3 or 4 icons only. And those are those icons that I need to do something about. I never leave anything on my desktop as a shortcut. I also do a lot of folders. Even in my emails, I do a lot of folders, clients or to do, to reply. I actually have folders that are called that. So yeah, I totally
I also
agree with
want to
all the
bring
things you
to
do.
notice one thing. Why are we always clicking photos? Like, please be in the moment, enjoy that moment. I think one photo of that entire moment is more than enough. People are just clicking photos randomly, and it adds to a lot of clutter on your phone. I have realized we never revisit some of those photos.
Exactly.
We never, right? So we,
Hmm.
because we keep on clicking, we don't enjoy those moments so much.
Hmm.
So reduce visual clutter from your phone. Also sit down and see if those photos are not sparking joy or not making you happy or does not mean anything to you at the end of the day. Please delete them from your phone or
Hmm.
your laptop at the same day or the next day. Like today I went for an event, I clicked a lot of photos, like 100 photos. I'm sure 5 are enough.
Yeah.
So let me just keep 5 and remove those 95 that is taking up the space and creating so much of visual clutter in my phone.
Yeah.
So decluttering your phone, decluttering your laptop, even for contact list. I do
Hmm.
that.
Hmm.
I declutter my contact list also periodically. There are so many drivers' names stored which
Yeah.
we are not going to contact later, right?
Yeah.
Because you need it on a regular basis. Please go ahead and declutter a lot of things so that your life becomes easier there.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Awesome. So this was a great conversation about decluttering and being organized, and I almost felt like we were on the same wavelength because I'm also, as I said, hyper organized, and as are you, and in fact you do it as part of your profession. So I think you have to be. But I think it was a good conversation. You gave a lot of tips for entrepreneurs and for people in general on how to improve their productivity and understand the importance of being organized to actually improve their productivity. So thank you so
Right.
much, Aanchal, for coming today and talking to me.
Thank you so much, Pallavi, for having me. And I actually know we resonated on a lot of level. And I think that is what, like, the conversation seemed like, a natural flow because when you can resonate with other person's ideas, it makes it that easy.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye bye.